Guys, welcome back to the University of Smooth. I am your host, Nixon the Dark, the internet's leading expert on unattractive behavior. Back with another in our long running series on what women value, kicking off a multi segment discussion on male physicality. Women base their desire on the answer to one simple question: which man will win in a confrontation? For millions of years, that confrontation was physical. We understand that. If you have a fight going on and you know nothing about the two competitors, who do you choose? You look for the size advantage, you look for the strength advantage. If you are tall and if you are muscular, that is the advantage that we assume you have by default. It may not be the full story. You may be terrible at fighting, but if we don't know that, we see a guy who's tall, we see a guy who's muscular, and we place our bet there. This could be a bitter pill for many men to swallow, that women will have a strong preference for men who are tall, dark, and handsome. That's a phrase going back millennia. It is fundamental to how desire works. Recognize this. Understand these other qualities that factor in to how women desire men. First off, size and strength are two extremely difficult to fake signals. It's perhaps impossible to fake them. I don't know if you know this, but dudes lie on the internet. You can lie about how tall you are on the internet. You can lie about your job. You can lie about how much money or clout you have. You can lie about the car you drive. When you meet somebody face to face, you can't hide the fact that you're 5'2", or you're simply not 6'5", and that's what you told her. You can't hide the fact that you lack the muscularity that she was hoping you had when she saw that picture of you from 5 years ago. You can still hide a few other things, and you may get found out eventually, but up front, you cannot fake these things. That's one of the reasons they are still so fundamental to how desire works. Second point, when women are younger, they have a much greater emphasis on physical appearance than women as they age. Having said that, as women get older, even though their desire profile becomes more complex, they still have an overriding desire for physical attractiveness, and that includes height and muscularity. This is inescapable. It's not the whole story, but it's inescapable. Other grim reality when it comes to physical intimacy. These are gigantic factors, and regardless of any cultural messages you may have received, physicality is critical to intimate desire. A woman can be attracted to a husband who earns money for her, earns money for the kids, reliably raises those kids with her, dotes on her, cares for her, takes care of her and her family and her sick relatives, and still find that man sexually repulsive. In part, this may be due to the fact that the man has lost whatever physicality he had at the start of the relationship. Or he never had it, but she liked those other values enough to accept him. That still does not mean that she desired him. As we say, there are a lot of components that go into this. We want to start with the bitter truth so that we can go forward positively. Should you be mad about the fact that you don't measure up in these categories? We don't deal with the word should here. We find it toxic and dangerous. It will lead you down a lot of wrong paths. It will guide you astray in so many ways. But I can completely understand why you might be pissed and frustrated and exasperated by the fact that you have a male sex drive that you were born into, the most powerful engine in the history of this planet, and for most of you, aimed uncontrollably at women. And a lot of those women, perhaps all of them, want nothing to do with you. Yes, that's extremely frustrating. I lived a version of that life for a long time, and I started this channel because I figured out how to build value in a way that would make me desirable to women, despite the fact that I was not tall and jacked. I did figure out a way to become more jacked because it's important for you to know the good news already starts here. One of those two is under your control. You can become more muscular. Yeah, you cannot grow a foot, but that is fantastic news. And I can tell you, once I dedicated myself to it, I got jacked enough to make a ton of progress. Never mind all of the other value that I've built through all of these other skills that I've developed that I started this channel to teach you. We're here to build value. Bad news is out of the way. Good news is on the way. We recognize these fundamental truths no matter how uncomfortable they are, and we grow from here. Stay tuned. We will get to all of it. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, and follow You Smooth for more content.